Hey y'all, I'm back. Believe it or not, I know it's been like 5 days since I've put anything out here. I want to tell you why. First off, I've been cooking a lot, so I had a lot of leftovers we needed to eat, and I haven't been cooking anything new. So I wanted to show you the other thing I've been doing though. I've been working on a project in my sewing room. I have decided to redo my sewing room, rearrange everything, and make it more user friendly. So let me show you what I've done. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see. This is my sewing room. First off, there's my little sign on the door that tells you how I feel about my sewing room. It is truly one of my happy places. My other happy place is my kitchen. I've told y'all that too. So, excuse me. This is my little dresser area here. It's just a nice little dresser, and it's got all kinds of yarn and things like that in the drawers. You can see there's some yarn in there. I think there's some in every single drawer. Yep, there's more yarn in there. So I do a lot of crocheting, not as much as I used to, but I do have yarn for it. And then on top here, these are all my rulers for cutting fabric and some of my dies for my AccuQuilt. And then I've got this wonderful design wall that is just basically a big piece of felt that's hanging on the wall there. And what's great about it is you can just stick fabric on there to design something. So like, let me show you. I'll do one real quick. Like this is just a little square of fabric here, and you just stick it on the wall like that, and then you can kind of put your other fabrics next to it and try to figure out how you're going to put a quilt together. It's kind of fun. Let me show you. So like, you just stick them on there and say, oh yeah, I think these would look good together. Just kind of an idea wall to get an idea of how things are going to look together, things like that. So it's kind of fun. And then this over here, this is my grandmother's sewing machine cabinet. Inside is the sewing machine, but this piece right here lifts up and out like that and makes a nice big sewing area. And that's an old White sewing machine. It's the brand is called White. And she bought it, I think, in 1950. I've got the receipt for it in the drawer somewhere there. And then this is my 1949 featherweight sewing machine that I love. That's my baby. Named her Bobby because she was born the same year that my husband was. My husband's name's Bob. So this is Bobby, my Singer sewing machine. That's the 1948. And I've got another one just like it that I keep at the church, and it's for our sewing group on Fridays, and it's a 47, which is my birth year. So anyhow, I love my little Singers. And then this, under the cover over here, let me remove the cover. This is my Husqvarna Viking diamond. This is a sewing machine and an embroidery machine. It works both ways. So I love this thing. This was one of the first gifts I gave myself when I retired, was this nice sewing machine. And it's all computerized, and I can do some beautiful embroidery on it. And so I love it. And then this is just a bookshelf corner where I keep some different supplies, and of course lots of family photos of grandkids. And then I've got me a little side table here with a nice felt mat on it. This is a nice wool felt that for ironing, and just when you're just going to iron little pieces when you're quilting. And then my newest addition to my room, I brought this up from downstairs, or got my husband to, is a nice big easy chair that I can sit in to do handwork, or if I have a guest in my sewing room, they can sit in here with me. And you'll notice I've got a nice magnifying light. Let me show you this thing. You just lift that up like that, and then there's a little button you push, and boy, it makes things bright, and you can just see. Anyhow, it's pretty neat, and you can make it different levels of the light. So that's really good when you're doing cross stitch or something tiny like that. And then this is my cutting table, which is on the opposite wall from my sewing. And I've got my cutting mat. Right now I've got a bunch of little containers on there because what I'm doing is I'm cutting up some of my scraps on this AccuQuilt machine. I don't know if you've ever used one of those, but it's wonderful. I just got that this year. It really saves on the arm of when you're trying to do a lot of cutting. But anyhow, I cut a bunch of scraps yesterday, and I cut them into just 2.5-inch squares, which is nice because now if I want to make a quilt using 2.5-inch squares, I've got plenty of pre-cuts here that I can just quickly come in here and pick out the ones that I might like that would go together well, and just place them over on my design wall and figure out how I want to make the quilt. And then I'm going to be making some that are in 2.5-inch strips, some that'll be in 5-inch squares, things like that. And anyhow, so that is the grand tour of the sewing room. But let me show you what I really shouldn't show you. Well, oh wait a minute, I didn't show you. That's my wall with all the embroidery threads. My husband had put those up for me about I don't know, maybe 6 months ago we got those put up. But now this is the closet. This is where the big mess is, and this is what is going to take a lot more work to get done. But look at all that. Oh, it's so frustrating to see all that. I had it all cleaned out when we were making a lot of face masks at the church. I was getting rid of some of my scraps and we're using those for making face masks. But since then, of course, I've gone shopping and accumulated a lot more. So I will be working on all that and getting this organized, and I will update you on it. So that's it for right now. We'll be cooking some more later today, and I'll add it to the video. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.